Hi, friends. It's your girl Coco, who is now a stay at home mom who is in her spare bedroom that does have some products from Amazon because she's going to clean it up. uh, I don't real know. My husband did order some giant vacuum bags because we are still putting our sleep number bed. I did sleep number endorsements for many years when I was on the radio, so I have a sleep number bed. I should do a whole podcast on endorsements and how fun those were. Anyways, so the sleep number bed um, is just bound by big rolls of duct tape. And so we're going to put it inside of a giant vacuum sealed bag so that eventually we can use the bed one day. But right now it's just taking up space in the slash studio. Again, workout room. But we are going to do something with it. Good news is you'll be proud of me. Remember the dresser because my twins are big enough now. Y'all, they're going to be 4 in December. They are 3.5. Holy cow. Thank the Lord, sweet Jesus, that they are 3.5. Thank you, Lord. We are having a lot of fun at 3. Definitely better than the newborn stage when it comes to newborn twins, that's for sure. But I did transition from the baby crib or the baby changing dresser into a taller dresser that I've actually had since I was in high school. That's how long I've been toting this dresser along with me. So now the twins have it. I changed all the clothes out, got a big giant tub, took it over to Once Upon a Child, and they gave me jack squat. Couldn't believe it. I don't understand. I don't know why they don't. I don't know. That's the second time I've taken clothes over there. And I thought they were bomb as I was putting them in the tote. And not a single thing got accepted. Not a single thing. Which reminds me, I think if I don't go by today, I don't know, something like they donate them, which is fine. I hope they can donate them because I don't need another tub of clothes. I'm just shocked that I didn't get a dime. Could not believe it. Anyways, so I guess apparently my clothes are complete trash. I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, so good news is I've stuck to my plan of taking on projects. I've really been doing some, what do we call it? Like self-diving, if you will. Remember I told you about my girlfriend who called me last week and said I quit my job, now what? And so I said spend some time on doing some self-development, figuring out those things that make you tick and what that is. If you are a young listener, friend, figure out who you are, girl. Figure out what makes you tick, why you do the things that you do. It's not really until now, and my children unlocked like this weird Pandora's box that I had no idea. And when that thing opened up, it was like a screeching halt of who Coco is, was, and has been. It was so strange. So I'm spending the last several weeks diving into books and reading those. And I just finished Craig Rochelle's this week. I talked about it last week. Winning the War in Your Mind. So good. I have a ton of scriptures that I can just remember and put on the forefront, the frontal lobe when things start getting wild and I start to spin out of control. So now that I'm done with that book, I'm still walking early in the morning because y'all, we know we've hit that heat advisory. We just got hit with the reverse alert yesterday that we are underneath a drought restriction. So we're not supposed to be watering our lawns. Or is that window. By the way, if you're not getting the reverse alert, do that. It is super handy, although they do use it. Like once you get one reverse alert, you get 52 right afterwards. But hey, I know what's happening when it comes to an emergency. You can actually go to cctexas.com or the city of Corpus Christi to get the reverse alert. It's a program to where if something happened in the city of Corpus Christi, like the drought restrictions, you will get a text or I get an email. I also get a phone call and a voicemail. So apparently I checked yes to all the ways to contact me in case of an emergency. But it is hot. So I have been getting my miles in the morning and now I'm listening to my girl Liz told me about it. Liz and I are doing the Beachy Mamas, although she's been sick, bless her heart. So it's on hold right now. But she told me about a book called Fierce, Free, and Full of Fire by Jen Hatmaker. And so far she's full of piss and vinegar right now. But I get it. I understand why. Because she's just setting up to who she is and what basically pissed her off enough to say, hey, this is where I'm at and this is who I am. I'm not going to be unapologetic for it. And so I love that Liz was like, hey, girl, this is the book that you need to be reading. She was talking about Enneagrams. Do you know anything about the Enneagrams? I'm going to do a horrible job of explaining it. So if I were you, I would just go Google it or watch 52 TikTok videos like I did about the Enneagram. But basically, it's just like how you tick. So you or your inner person, like the way or the rhyme and reason of the way that you do these things or your feelings, if you will. You're probably like, Coco, that's the worst explanation. You're right. I also told you to Google it. So there's that. I'm the worst when it comes to explaining stuff. Ask me to give you directions. Actually don't. It's so bad. So bad. Anyways, so Jen Hatmaker this morning was talking about once she figured out what her Enneagram was, everything just started to make sense. So 6 o'clock this morning, or 6:15, whatever, I took the Enneagram test. I found a free one online because I wasn't about to pay money because your girl is cheap. I answered a series of questions and found out what my Enneagram was, and I was completely shook. It made complete sense. All these feelings that I've been having like the last several months, in particular with just the transition of my job and friendships and people that I've met and worked with and this and that, or just in general, have just really been loud in my face, and I just didn't understand it. So once I found out what my Enneagram number was, all of this is making sense, and stuff leading up to it makes sense. So that's why I say, girl, if you're young and you're still figuring out who you are and how powerful you are and all the things that you're getting ready to do in your life, and sometimes you're just like, man, I wish I knew why I ticked this way. Check out what your Enneagram is. It's really telling. I'll share next week what mine is, but if you're curious, you can just Google Enneagram test and see what that is. I shared it with Liz and she said, oh man, she didn't tell me that she's a 2, which is good. But she said there's a lot of 2s that she knows that I could connect with. And she said it'd also be interesting to see other 2s. Oh, I just told you what my number was. Dang it. Well, shoot. Okay, so I'll share in depth next week what a 2 is. So dumb. Welcome to me surprising my kids. I just get so excited when I have a surprise and I just immediately give it to them. Yeah, so the hurry up and wait is real over here. It's just, here it is. Anyway, so after the walk and I found out what my Enneagram was, I shared it with my husband because I feel like there's just some days that I struggle with communication, or there's things that my husband does, and he doesn't do it how I would want it done, i.e. I'm a control freak, which I didn't know that I was. I mean, I kind of did, but when you really start diving into those things. So anyways, I sent it to my husband, and I'll just read you what his text was. It's so simple. He literally just said, that's interesting. A lot of what you have been saying is in fact true. Yes. So it just felt good that I feel like in this downtime. Okay, that's a lie. What? I don't have downtime. What the hell's downtime? But in this time, finding time to read the books to figure out what makes me tick and those kinds of things has been really interesting. So I encourage you, long story short, Enneagram. ENNEAGRAM. I have been to so many different events, motivational events, where I've seen these incredible speakers like Mel Robbins, Joseph McClendon III. I'll just speak about one mentor, Brian Underwood with Prove It. They've talked about these Enneagram reports, and I've never done it. So sometimes here's your sign, friend. You've heard it before over and over and over again. So sometimes you just need to stop and do it. So that's where we're at. Feeling good with that. When I get done with my walk, I head out to the garden. Even though we're in drought restrictions, I'm doing my job like I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm also keeping my garden watered. And I'm so excited. If I'm being honest with you, I'm one of those people that falls into the holy cow, we're going to starve, because I've seen people talk about food shortages. And I don't want to be that person, all the way down to it's just going to cost so expensive to get food brought to us by trucks and boats and planes and all that kind of stuff. So I know it's like the sky is falling, Chicken Little, calm down. Calm down, Coco. So I thought, okay, well, we can live off cantaloupes if I can grow some. So we have cantaloupe growing, some, I don't know, like they're the small heirloom cucumbers, and they are getting so big. The leaves are almost the size of my palm, which is so exciting. I have planted some companion plants, marigolds, around the cucumber and my cantaloupe. I've also planted, I just sowed some sugar pumpkin seeds. I'm excited. I hope that they fill in for the fall. That'll be a really cool, fun gift to give from the twins to their friends and just whoever we run into, and they can paint them and do all the fun pumpkin-like things if they grow. Also have a bell pepper and a tomato plant, and the birds are already getting to my tomatoes before they even turn red. So I really need to work on getting some bird netting, but I've also sowed okra, so I'm excited. I just hope that these seeds come to, like a seedling and into a plant, and they do all the things. I bought my cucumber and cantaloupe at Lowe's, so those are already, growing. And then, I was gifted a strawberry plant, and it's actually a pine berry, and I propagated one for the very first time, and it's growing. So that's been the fun thing about TikTok, is watching all the gardening. I've been sharing a lot of my gardening on TikTok, calling myself It's Your Amateur Gardener Coco. But it's been fun. That's where I've been spending my time for my mental health. I've been sharing that I got completely off my medication. And so when I wasn't feeling too good or didn't know how to explain myself or even really knew how to share, thank God the twins were in school. So I was able just to have those days to myself, because it was hard coming off those pills. But it was a place for me just to sit and be and keep my mind busy with working with my hands. And there is something really beautiful about seeing that growth in the garden. And there's so many symbolisms through mental health and gardening, which is just really awesome for me. So I'm so thankful, and which I was sharing like with my downtime. I guess I do have downtime. I mean, I've worked for over 20 years. And so is this my downtime, raising 3-year-old twins and gardening and making delicious meals with my husband, because I bought those 7 blocks of cream cheese. We're still working on that cream cheese, friends, but I've been knocking recipes out the park with that cream cheese, so it's been working. So I guess my downtime is doing this homemaking stuff, which is totally not my wheelhouse, which I think that's what I was scared about, because I didn't know how to do any of those things. And so I'm learning as we go. My TikTok For You page is now filled with homestead, gardening, homeschool, which is so funny because I still want to be super close to any kind of grocery store or a Dollar General or some kind of dollar something. I need to be close to that. So anyways, friend, I hope you're good. I wanted to remind you that if you're still looking for some fun things to do, to check out the city or the Corpus Christi Libraries, City of Corpus Christi Libraries. This is our second week in a row to enjoy story time and a craft. We go to the Garcia Library on Brockhampton. I know we shouldn't give our location out. So CCPD, if anything ever happens to me, now you know. It's because I go on this podcast and I'm so vulnerable to everybody about business. Now you know. Check my podcast to figure out my last location or my social media. But we go over there and do a story and a craft, and we have a great time. So thanks to, Mr. John Oliver, Mr. Oliver, and Miss Shelby. So check out the City of Corpus Christi Libraries information for the summer activities. And then they also, City of Corpus Christi has the Bay Jamma movies coming out, and they have some really cool ones. So getting ready to come up is Paw Patrol, and they're going to have Peter Rabbit the second on June 24th. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say those, because those are brand names, movies, but hey, I'm not on the radio anymore. I'm just some little girl doing a little tiny podcast in Corpus Christi, Texas, so don't come at me. Okay, cool. Great. But thanks to the city and local organizations putting on some cool things for kiddos to enjoy and to attend. Don't forget splash pads are up and running. Those are a lot of fun. But make sure you take your trash with you. Take your diapers with you. Like, look, we all want to have a good time. We all want snacks. We're all thirsty. You know, your kids want string cheese and goldfish and popsicles 24/7. But take those wrappers home with you. We shouldn't depend on other people to clean up after us. Also, what are you teaching your children? You always want to leave it better than you found it. If that's one thing that I can teach my kids. And when they see trash everywhere, sometimes I don't have anything to pick it up. Like, I don't want to pick up like a dirty something. And I'm like, I should carry gloves in my back pocket, right? I do have gardening gloves in my van. Speaking of, last thing, I've been working on the school garden with the twins, even though I took them out. For the summer, I've been going over during the week. Thanks to the volunteers, I've been watering as well. But we have like 7 fruits. So that's what I mean is how fun it's been to see all the growth coming during all my woe is me, so sad, blah, blah, blah. It's fun to see some growth and that what water and sunshine can do, I mean, to a plant, but also to your soul. It's pretty good. Although I know, again, yes, it is hot. We do live in South Texas. Some of us have not even stepped outside yet, and I totally understand that. Others of us are rocking sunblock, sunshades, and a big old sun hat, just trying to enjoy some of the summertime fun so we don't have the blues because we're stuck inside with our kids. But whatever it is, I hope you're finding yourself, well, in the best mood you can find yourself in. I've learned that you're in control of that, and it's very easy for me to be in a sour, foul mood, which is what I loved about Craig Rochelle's book about winning the war in your mind and how we're able to change that with some scripture. So I'm thankful that when I download the Audible book, it also came with a PDF that came with a lot of things I can work through, and then a bunch of scripture that I can try to memorize. I remember that during the 3rd grade, speaking of summer vacation Bible school, I memorized Proverbs 3:5-6, and that's probably one of the biggest scriptures that pops out to me and everywhere I go. And it's so true. Just to follow what he's telling us, right? I should remember what Proverbs 3:5-6 say. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understandings. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. Like, dang, okay. Not trying to get deep or all Jesus freak on you. Sometimes we just need to stop, chill, and trust in him. All right, friends, peace. We'll see what kind of shenanigans we can get into next weekend. Oh, it's Father's Day weekend. We're going to go out to the farm and have fajitas. I think I'm going to order my husband a coffee maker because he loves coffee, but I'm going to do one that's like a programmable one. So like it's ready in the morning and he doesn't have to mess around with it or underwear. But I feel like the coffee maker is probably the best. Jay, you're the best dad. I appreciate you. I'm going to start crying, so I'm not going to. But thank you for being the best dad the twins could ever have and being hands-on. And that you don't babysit your kids. You cherish and enjoy them. Love you, honey. Okay, now bye. Peace. And I freaking started crying. Dang it.